Hello Svenny McG, it's me Svenny McG. There's quite nothing just like playing on an old CRT television, especially an old one like this, and especially playing some classics like Super Mario Bros. Except I don't have an NES hooked up here. I have my Nintendo Switch. How did I do that? Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, pardon the handheld here, but this is a Toshiba Blackstripe. On the back here, you can see it is model CE942C, and it's from October 1982. That's right, my friends. That means I'm just hardly older than this unit. The only input this has is a coaxial here, and then it has these screw-down RF units as well. But what we're going to be focusing on today is the coaxial. So you can see I have this one hooked up here. That's going to run down through to this here. This is an RF Modulator, a Radio Shack version. What that's doing is it's taking a composite signal, the red video and the right and left channels of audio, and it's making it one single RF signal that goes up and through here into the television. This signal, the composite, is actually coming from this box here. This is called a mini HDMI to AV, an upscaler to 1080p. I don't know much about that, except for the fact here that I have an HDMI input going to a composite output. So of course, from the back of the Nintendo Switch, I have an HDMI plugged in. That's running through to here, to the input of the mini HDMI to AV, and that is going to the composite over here to the RF modulator to turn it into a coaxial to segment it up here as an RF through the coax. So here's a look at the TV here, coming around the side. Nice wood paneling on the side here, as well as on top. The TV has quite a few different options to it. Notably on the back here, I got to play with the V-hold. So of course, when your screen is aligning and it's not quite in place, you can use that. In fact, here's a couple shots and video here. When I first got the unit running, you notice that it actually was not filling out the screen. In fact, it took a while for it to initially warm up, and then when it warmed up, it didn't necessarily make its way all the way to the top of the screen. That's when I got to use the V-hold and actually run it right to the top of the screen. Nothing much crazy on the back here. You can just see a bunch of ventilation ports. This little wire here was just here when I got the unit. This actually, someone just strung this up so as to actually tie up its power cord when you're done. For this one here, turning the unit off and on, it has one of the old-fashioned pull. And then once it's here, you can just turn the knob to get audio. It has a single speaker here, and you're gonna love this. Here's the channels here. And so you can go through the various channels. And then internally, inside here you have the very low, very high, and ultra frequencies. And then you can actually change them here. So A, B, C, and you can see down here and try and actually hone them in. That's dependent upon the back here, if you're trying to get a UHF signal or a VHF signal. In fact, here on channel 3, where I have the unit set to, again, I have to set that back here on the back of the RF box, saying that I want to take over channel 3. So here's channel 3 in place. But if I actually were to change this here from the very high or the ultra frequencies, you see that I lose the signal on the television. So again, a neat little one here. It took me quite a while to get some of the colors here, and I know it's difficult to see that here on the screen through this camera. But underneath here, you can see there's a lot of different options as well. I got to play with the contrast, the brightness, the color, the tint, and then this aft and ABC. The ABC I found made a massive difference on this in order to make clarity, and in fact, even make the words legible. Color and tint, of course, helped, and then brightness helped actually dial it in. And then you get to see the game that you know and love so well. So one thing, of course, is once you have the unit set up and you have that configuration, I can basically HDMI anything into here now. Yeah, it's going to come out a little bit different given the circumstances because we do have it going through an HDMI to a converter. So there's a lot of different ways of downscaling in order to get this here, but it still doesn't look too bad. And again, once you have it set up here in this with the HDMI and everything, I can now hook up anything. I can put on a PS5 if I want. I can put on an Xbox Series X. Sky's the limit now. And I do mean anything. Now again, best I can do getting my camera to capture this here, but I wanted to show that with adjustments, I did have to make adjustments from the retro games to this, but I pretty much am capturing the beautiful brightness, vibrancy of Mario Kart Deluxe 8 here. And especially for games that are new, but look retro. Definitely a nice contrast. And again, all this shown on a television that in another couple weeks is going to turn 42 years old. Though in the end of the day, sometimes a TV like this is just made best for retro classics. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, as it always helps grow my channel. Until I see you guys again soon, please take care and be good to each other. Bye now.